These are things that I think are super trashy.
I don't want to do this. Things that I find to be very not chic.
Things I find incredibly unchic. Starting off strong with one that I know is going to offend a lot of people, but tattoos. And the little baby ones, you guys, when you get old, they're not gonna look cute.
Heavy makeup.
Having a lot of piercings.
Nail art.
Classy girls also do not cuss. It is so important to always use positive and eloquent language.
How do I positively and eloquently say this? What the fuck? Hey guys, it's Briar and let's chat about it. So there is a group of influencers that are growing deeply concerned with the fact that the rest of us, besties, are incredibly unchic. And so what did they decide to do? Even though I'm pretty sure nobody asked, they decided to write lists, collate examples, and tell us, the people, how unchic we are. Well, as I'm sure you can imagine, instead of the comment sections being filled with praise and thank yous and people tearful with joy because they finally know how to be chic thanks to these random girly pops on the internet, these videos instead went down like a tone-deaf lead balloon. Shock, horror to no one. So in today's video, I really wanted to go on an adventure.
I'm going on an adventure!
Through all of these videos and everything that they are telling us is unchic, and just really the response that they got and how they responded to the response, you know how it goes, but also how this content even came about in the first place. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, stick around and let's get into it. So I obviously had to wear, move the hair, my chicest of tops, so that everyone watching can see just how qualified I am to speak on the chic. I'm sure all of you chattinators have already noticed that literally every single one of my videos, the top comment, I swear it's always, Briar, how are you so chic? Oh my gosh, I've never seen a more chic person in my life. You don't have to check. You don't, just take my word for it. Don't leave this video and check. No, sarcasm. Who, me? Never. No, I did want to start by saying that even though these influencers are unfortunately showing some very unkind and mean girl behavior, I don't want it to feel too heavy, because I think for the most part they have had like the real life consequences, or like the online consequences of the backlash of people saying this behavior is not slay. And I think because this trend was ultimately shut down and called out for being mean girl behavior, I don't think we need to go too hard on these girlies. I feel like if you're making content like that, like it obviously comes from a sad place. And I think whilst yes, we're going to criticize behavior, we're going to criticize thoughts and opinions and the kind of perceptions that they for some reason have on us besties just living our best life, I don't want to get into like the criticizing on their looks or how they present themselves, because I feel like it just can be a slippery slope, you know, like we can very quickly go from calling out behavior, calling out mean girl energy, to talking about things that are not necessary and we agree is them being unkind. So like, why would we do it back? You know, like we're just not going to do it. I'm not going to do it, and I'm sure you guys won't do it either. We get it. And like, as the queen of chicness, as we have established, may I raise a question that maybe being mean about how people look and their appearance and how they choose to present themselves, that's unchic. If you can hear my dog snoring, no you can't. So let's simply get into it. Let's get into these videos and hear what these girly pops have to say about what we are doing, just living our best lives, and how they have perceived these things as being unchic. I swear my dog is snoring so loudly. Please tell me you can hear that. So let's get into the first video, shall we?
These are some things that I personally feel make you seem very unclassy. The first one's gonna make a lot of people mad, but smoking. If I go out and I see a really well put together woman, she knows she got her life together, she looks phenomenal, and she pulls out and hits a vape, no, it just screams to me unclassy. The next thing is lip filler, but when you can tell they have filler. Personally, to me, when I can tell that you have lip filler, it's just, to me, kind of tacky. The next thing is posting about partying, drinking, smoking, all that. don't post that. I think that's pretty self-explanatory, but personally, I just think it's very classless. And the last thing is heavy makeup. A full face of makeup and heavy makeup are two different things. Heavy makeup is like dark eyeshadow, bronzer, blush, like you can tell. Whereas a full face, you're wearing all the products, but they blend seamlessly and they look very natural, and it just like kind of really enhances your features. But when you show up and you have very heavy makeup, I feel like it just looks kind of, tacky to me. It doesn't scream class.
Sorry, I watched these a while ago, so I kind of forgot what they say. I'm sorry, I just can't help but laugh sitting here with my purple pink glitter eyeshadow in my grilled cheese top. Like, it's funny to me. I'm sorry. I've always been a girly that's never worn makeup in a natural way. I was the girl that would go to work, to my office job, and I'd have like a green glittery eyeshadow on. Like, yes, my work was okay with it, and my manager was like, I love your makeup, but yeah. I was that girl, and especially when I worked in hospitality. It was the 2010s. We all were that. We all get it. We get the vibe. Anyway, wow, so much to take in. Look, obviously I'm not going to defend smoking on a health level. But like, am I looking at someone being like, bleh, classless flop? No, like, that's just it's so crazy how judgmental it is, right? To me, I'm like, it's your personal choice. Do I agree with it? Or like in the people in my life, I want them to be healthy. So do I want them to? No. But I'm not going to judge them or like give my stupid opinions on their own personal journey with those things, especially when they're incredibly addictive. Also the partying thing, like, I think there's like, obviously not partying to like the detriment of your health and things like that, but going out and having a fun time with friends, going for a night out, having a party, like, I think that's cool. I don't know. As a girly pop sitting here in my grilled cheese t-shirt, I think it's cool. I don't know though. But it's just like, if you don't go out, doesn't mean you're not cool. But like the fact that there are some people that are like, flop, unchic, unclassy, loser. It's crazy. But anyway, the comments are great. They're like, oh, who is you? We love Vanilla Mace. There is someone that says make a part 2. Okay, wait, this ain't my side of TikTok. Uh-oh, I'm in enemy territory. Classiness to me is when a woman focuses on herself instead of judging other women. Exactly. That is, I think, a really great start because it gives a real good vibe and sense of what they're bringing to the table and just kind of the tone, right? It's the tone in which things are being said. But anyway, let's move on to the next video.
These are trashy habits that give me the ick. If I offend you, I apologize in advance. And this is part 3. Sleeping in your makeup and touching it up the next day. I'm sorry, but that is disgusting. Wearing clothes that do not fit you. Do not try to squeeze into those jeans that fit you in 6th grade and then go out in public. Just let it go. Find clothes that fit. Wearing falsies that are halfway detached or eyelash extensions that have a lot of missing gaps. It looks better without them, trust me. Makeup that's caked up on your hairline. It's very easy to avoid, don't let it be you. Girls that are thin but make fun of people that aren't. That is classless behavior, and someone needed to say it. Girls that flirt with other girls' boyfriends when they know they have a girlfriend. It's giving extremely, extremely desperate. It's giving you've never had attention before in your life, so you need to go out of your way to get it. And again, it's giving classless, trashy behavior. Next, wearing clothes in public that have makeup around the collar, especially if you tried to rub it off but you can still clearly see that it was there. Take it off and just leave it at home. Huge hoop earrings. I said what I said. French tips that are so thick and square they look like dominoes on your hands. That's just my opinion. Visible bra straps, especially those rhinestone ones that spell out like sexy or Victoria's Secret on it. No, those are so ugly. Massive acrylic nails painted with like flames, Playboy, money signs, or dollar bills. Sorry. Clear plastic heels. You know exactly what I'm talking about. I got a lot of comments of people asking me to turn this into a series, so let me know.
Now I find this girl very confusing because it's like in one breath she's like judging people for their weight or like flirting with people's boyfriends, and I'm like, yes, slay queen, we should not do that. We should build each other up. We shouldn't be looking at people's bodies, and we shouldn't be flirting with taken men. Absolutely. And then she's like, but those stupid ass big ass hoop earrings, and I'm like, whoa, I was on your side and now I'm confused. Like, I feel like these ones almost are more, not insidious, that's too heavy of a word, but they're more sneaky. Sneaky is the right energy of a word. There's some really good points in there, but then there's like this weird undertone of judgment. So as she said, this is a series for her, so let's watch another one.
These are things that I think are super trashy. If I offend you, I'm sorry in advance. One is easily going to be vaping or smoking cigarettes. I can say this because I used to do this every single day, but I quit cold turkey and it's been like over 3 years and I don't even think about it anymore. It's not a good example to set. It's not good for your health. Hello? If you need it all day, every day, I just find it to be gross and classless. Sorry. Next is if you flip off the camera or take pictures with your middle finger. I feel like this one's self-explanatory. It's not giving classy woman, which is what we should all be striving for, right? Next is having a trashy partner. If you have a shitty, abusive boyfriend and you won't leave him and you just keep putting up with that, it's trashy. I'm sorry. The next one is wearing pajamas in public or like really dirty slides. It just doesn't look good. Next is screaming on FaceTime in public. This is just so obnoxious and trashy. This next one's gonna get me a lot of hate, but I have to say it. I don't care. This is my opinion. But very long, clunky, obnoxious nails. And I used to be that girl, okay? I used to get monster nails. Like, they were huge and long and square, and I got everything in the world painted on them. And if I could go back and tell my younger self this, I would. In general, even if you have short, cute, solid nails, but you don't upkeep them and they're like chipped and breaking and one's missing, like, that's just as trashy looking. The next one is if you threaten to fight people. Oh my god, this is so low class and just like loser behavior. You should never be threatening to fight people, ever. Man or woman, like, that's disgusting. I feel like everything I'm saying is usually stuff you don't think about unless you're in middle school, but you'd be surprised how many adults like do all of these things. If someone threatens to fight you or physically harm you in any way, just call your lawyer. Next one, I'm gonna say it, I'm sorry, having a lot of piercings. Especially if there's like a lot going on your face, like a lot of holes and piercings in your lips and nose and tongue and like all of that. It's just not high class. You guys can agree or disagree with every single thing that I'm saying. I don't care. The girls that get it, and the girls that don't. Last but not least is posting only your body online. I'm sorry, but it's not classy. My page is not for everyone.
Wow, I'm just catching so many strays. So for those of you who don't really, like, maybe this is the first time watching a Bride Chats chat video, I actually used to have, like, this ear had over 10 piercings in it, but I had to take them all out because I'm having some sort of weird ear issue at the moment. It's devastating. But, like, I have a few piercings, 2 nose piercings. I'm just like... That's literally so crazy. Again, though, it's like there's no like consistency in what she's saying of like there's some like really lighthearted things like how you do your nails, and then there's some really heavy things like having a partner that makes you trashy. Like, I'm sorry, that was a very upsetting thing to hear. How is it that if someone's in a relationship that is very well documented and understood, if you actually understand these types of relationships, they're incredibly difficult to get out of, they're incredibly difficult to leave, and so now you're judging that person because they are basically trapped in a situation that, like, what? That was crazy to me. The other thing I will note is that it's interesting that there's a lot of judgment coming from things that she used to do. And I feel like that's always so strange because it's like You used to do those things. If you still did those things, would someone being like mean and talking down to you, would that convince you to change, or would that help you change? I just feel like having a holier than thou because you no longer do something attitude is just not really going to persuade people, and it's kind of hypocritical because it's like you of all people should be more understanding. But anyway, again, the comments are like, oh, who is you? You sound so condescending. Oh baby, you're weird. And then she replied to that one saying, oh baby, if you're defending these things, you're actually super weird and shouldn't go out in public. When I had all my earrings in, I shouldn't go out in public. I shouldn't have long nails or chipped nails and go out in public. Crazy bananas, I know. But anyway, let's move on to the next one. With that all said,
I don't want to do this. Things that I find to be very not chic. Whatever this matte finish is on a claw clip. Honestly, the flower too. Screams Amazon. It screams Shein. It screams fast fashion. I cannot. Some analysts decided that checker print was in for us, I'm convinced. Every college apartment, every post-grad college girl. Do you even like checkered? I'm just curious. Or is it the thing to have? That's what bothers me. Any type of gadget or an ordinary object, you got. It drives me crazy. Nail art. Stayed extra time in that nail salon chair. There are other fun things on nails that I do kind of like, but like the swirly, it's just really hand in hand with the checkered print for me. I don't think cars need accessories. I don't. I love a clean, simple, sure it feels fun in the moment, but I can't. I'm sorry, I just can't.
I understand that we must start a TikTok with a hook, but I don't want to do this. It's like, sorry, was someone forcing you? Did I not see someone behind the camera forcing you? They're like holding it up, flash in your face, saying, you must say what's not chic. I don't think so. I think that this was just an idea you came up with. And her caption is, overconsumption is not chic to me. Some things to reconsider spending your coin on twice. I hate this vid. Okay, bye. So it's really weird that she kind of tries to turn it into like an overconsumption situation when she's not really I guess the accessories is kind of, but it's like that's not inherently overconsumption. I feel like people just hear words and they're like, yeah, I want to use that word. The top comment is, oh my gosh, let people live. And I could not agree more with that sentiment. This is the overall theme of this type of content, is it's just like, it feels so sad that there are people kind of going around and just looking down and critically analyzing and nitpicking at people, and you did this for what? Another comment is like, girl, I don't know, this content isn't chic in my opinion. And she replies, so fair, lol, TikTok in general isn't most chic. What? Isn't most chic? Right. Are you okay? Props not. Bro, it's a clip. Then don't do it. I don't want to do this. Then don't. If you're not funky, that's cool, but let people live maximalist lives. Chic is so boring. And I think that's the thing, is like she clearly just doesn't like a colorful aesthetic. And that's okay. Some people don't want to be sitting in a bright purple cardigan with matching purple glitter eyeshadow and that purple Girl Tees t-shirt. Like, I get it. I'm not forcing anyone else to do it. Honestly, I feel like this one was kind of less bad than the other ones. I think it was just kind of like weirdly nitpicky, but let's continue.
Things classy girls do not do. It is 2025, and as women, the world is our oyster now more than ever, and the way in which you present yourself will either open or close doors for you. And whether you like it or not, we do live in a society, and how you present yourself to the outside world is vital. First one might be controversial, and again, these are just my personal opinions, but classy girls do not post bikini pics on social media. Now, you in a full beach ensemble wearing a cover-up showing your outfit is one thing, but a bikini thirst trap pic is another. Because you and everybody knows that bikini pic is solely for the purpose of entertaining the male gaze. Companies nowadays absolutely look at your social media before hiring, so you want to make sure that you present yourself well and are modest. Piggybacking off of the bikini picture, another thing classy girls do not do is show too much skin. Trust me, ladies, there's so many alternative ways of exuding sexiness and confidence that does not include showing a bunch of skin, having your cleavage out, and having your booty hanging out of your shorts. This will also heavily dictate how you are approached in society and how you are approached by other people. Next one, and I know a lot of you are not going to want to hear this, but classy girls do not smoke vapes. Listen, I am guilty myself of having smoked a vape here and there, but ultimately it is detrimental to your health and your reputation. It's not a good look. Classy girls also do not cuss. I myself let out an inappropriate word here and there, but it is so important to always use positive and eloquent language, especially if you're meeting somebody for the first time or you're in a professional setting. You never know who somebody is or who somebody knows. Another thing classy girls do not do is they are not overly flashy. Nobody likes to show off, and too many labels and prints are distracting. You don't need to be covered in head to toe Versace in order to radiate class. In fact, that does the opposite. Remember, ladies, wealth whispers. Another thing classy girls do not do is they do not neglect basic etiquette. Even if you are in a bad mood, always be polite. Always say please and thank you. Always hold the door open for strangers because, again, you never know who's watching and you never know who somebody is. And also, do it for yourself. If you're kind, you will feel good because being kind is the classiest thing that you can do. Another thing classy girls do not do is they do not neglect their appearance. Always, always, always look presentable no matter where you're going or what you're doing. I have a rule I religiously follow. If my makeup is not done, my hair is done. If my hair is not done, my makeup is done. Even if it's a little bit of mascara and lip gloss and concealer. You never know who you're gonna run into. And last but not least, and now this might be a hot take, if you just met someone, classy girls do not overshare. Now, this doesn't mean you don't overshare with your best friend or a close friend. This just means you don't overshare with strangers or acquaintances because not everybody has the best intentions for you, and you always want to maintain some kind of allure of mystery.
How do I positively and eloquently say this? What the fuck are you talking about? I'm sorry. Every time I watch these, I know that they mean it seriously, but it makes me laugh. And I think it's just because it's like these are such weird, made up rules. Wealth whispers, like I feel like that is a very like bad undertone of all of this as well, as it's just like we're kind of looking down on you if you don't have enough money, but you also don't have the nice fancy things in the right way. Like there's this very like scary, concerning aspect to it of it's just we're judging you if you don't have money or you have money but you buy things that are too obnoxious. As Kath Day Knight would say, it's just a foxy moron. There's just something so ironic of people putting in all these rules because we live in a society. Don't you guys forget we live. Like, what does it even mean we live in a society? Of course. State the obvious. I didn't get my perfect fantasy. It just feels very ironic that they're making all these rules, they're setting in all these boundaries and judgments that they don't even perfectly follow, by the way, but in a very like look down, condescending way. If you don't do this, like you're gonna get judged and I'm going to judge you, basically is what they're saying. They're saying if you do these things, you give me permission to look down on you and judge you. And it's just really weird. It's really strange, really weird, really bizarre behavior. But anyway, we are now at the what I would consider to be final boss of UNCHIC influencer content. So let's simply get into it because this video got millions of views and I think you'll kind of immediately see why.
Things I find incredibly UNCHIC, part 1. And I say part 1 because it's a very long list. Starting off strong with one that I know is going to offend a lot of people, but tattoos. And the little baby ones, you guys, when you get old, they're not gonna look cute. I'm so sorry. Technically speaking, this is just my opinion, but also I think it's proven fact that tattoos are in fact very much UNCHIC. Next up is visible logos of any kind. I know that one's hard to hear as well, but just keep in mind that money talks and wealth whispers, and I don't know any wealthy people that are wearing Gucci across their chest. 3 things that will forever give me the ick and I will never find chic are anything Lululemon, Golden Goose shoes, even worse than the Golden Goose shoes is the Golden Goose dupes. Can't stand, and a Neverfull. And especially when you combine those 3 together, which kind of seems to be like what I call the stay-at-home mom starter kit, not chic. I hate it. Next up we have baggy denim with stretch. If the denim is meant to be baggy, then it doesn't need to have stretch. It defeats the purpose, and it just looks bunchy and ill-fitting and cheap. And cheap does not equate to chic. Another thing that looks incredibly cheap is when the print or the pattern doesn't continue all the way around to the back of the top or the dress. So if it's like sequin in the front, but then there's no sequin in the back, or if it's floral print in the front, but there's just a solid color in the back. Even some high-end designers do this. I don't know why. It looks so cheap, and it is incredibly unchic. Hunting camo worn as fashion. The only camo I find acceptable to wear as a fashion item is going to be military camo, and even then it's borderline. I will say that I do in fact own quite a few pairs of camouflage cargo pants. I wear them specifically for hunting, or because maybe we have like a camo night at the kids' school. We do live in the South. Sometimes I'm compliant, but I would not consider it to be chic by any means. But I do consider our men in uniform to be very chic. And lastly for today, VPL. Visible panty line. If I can see your underwear through your pants, either A, you're wearing the wrong underwear, or B, your pants are way too tight. Go up a size, buy a thong, figure it out. I should never be able to see your panties through your pants.
Stop trying to make a VPL happen. It's never gonna happen. When she said VPL, I was like, like VPNs? Like using a private network? That'd be amazing if I had a VPN sponsor. But alas, we don't. I think the one that really, I just laugh when people tell me tattoos are not chic or not cool. I know that having them, people will obviously always judge you for having them. So it's kind of by, like whatever. The one that was really quite shocking to me was the amount of judgment she had towards stay-at-home mums and being like, oh, they have this outfit. Like what? Why are you judging? Why are we judging stay-at-home mums that are probably just doing their best? It sounds like it's in a very like fancy area as well, where these stay-at-home mums. What's a Neverfold? Is that I think it's a designer bag. Oh, never full. I don't know why. When I hear Americans say never full, sounds like never fold. Whatever, it's Louis Vuitton. This video has over 3 million views and over 250,000 likes, but the comments are pretty dynamic and hot and spicy. Are tattoos unchic, or are you guys not chic enough to have chic tattoos? Show me a chic tattoo. I don't know, guys. Getting a Disney tattoo when you're 19 years old. Honestly, I feel like as I've aged, my tattoo choices have gotten better. And I'm not even a Disney adult. This is a matching tattoo. Dead animals in a house is unchic. Not grabbing the wine glass correctly, super unchic. Being unkind and judgy is also very unchic. Hope this helps. Writing a whole list on what's unchic is so corny. I don't know if you guys could see, but like she has like a whole notebook full of stuff. This is when people need more productive hobbies, because if you're literally writing down everything you think is unchic, like I feel like we need to listen to some podcast or something, I don't know, watch a documentary, like get better thoughts. Not that I want to be like your thoughts aren't good enough, but like if this is what is preoccupying our brain to the point of writing a list, like maybe we just should think about something else. Like I feel like it feels so negative, and like I can't even imagine what else is going on in there. And I will say a lot of people are like pointing out things about her and her appearance and the way she's dressing and like her deer in the background being unchic. I think it's the internet that's kind of going to happen. If you're throwing stones, you better hope your house ain't made of glass kind of thing, because you will get stones back. But I feel like all the content we watched leading up to this plus this video was really what made people be like, okay, enough's enough, let us live. And the girlies, we just had to say something, because it was getting too toxic, too judgy, and people were not getting the memo that this is not like content anyone's asking for. Nobody asked, nobody's forcing you to do this, and in fact it's just kind of unkind and unhelpful. So let's see how the girlies responded to just kind of this overwhelming amount of content, just kind of like attacking random things that people do just existing in their lives.
Okay. So the funniest part about the things I find unchic conversation isn't even the fact that like Okay, so I'm a firm believer in like people having different opinions, all right? Like your opinions don't have to impact mine and my opinions don't have to impact yours. And that's kind of on par with the conversation, because chicness is like aura. Chicness is someone's ability to cater their style to match their personality. It's about having a very specified elegance or a style to you that's very unique to you. That's chic. But that woman who came on here like this with like a wine glass and like 3 like pages full of things that she finds unchic, like, okay, sure, because to her these are things that she finds unchic to her own personal style. Okay, let's just start there. But what's so funny to me is nobody has caught this yet. She slowly goes from calling things unchic to calling it cheap. She's calling y'all broke. She's like, what I find unchic is poor people. That's what she's saying.
And I feel like she makes so many good points, but I definitely did notice the cheap, like the chic changing to cheap, but I wanted to save that part of the response to her video because it's like, yeah, in the same way the judgment was happening with the bag, it's just like, oh, I think you look cheap. I think you look broke. I think you look like you don't have enough money. That's what you're really saying. You're really saying, oh, I'm judging you because you're not in my tax bracket. I love her video and I think it's so true. I enjoy so many different styles and like tastes in fashion and like aesthetics, but it doesn't mean that I would wear all of them. And I think it's because it's like it looks good with that person and their personality, and it's cool when people have their own sense of style and fashion. It does kind of feel like quite a privileged thing to even do. You can spend so much time thinking about how you look, having money to spend on all these nice things, like having an aesthetic, putting yourself together every day. That is a privilege, and now you're using that privilege to judge other people and look down at them. So I just thought that was really weird. But anyway, let's watch this one more response video.
And incredibly unchic, part 1. And I say part 1 because
listen, I know it is just so lame of me to even comment on this, but like, did you see that list? That took some time and dedication. Like, she has been out there with her fucking binoculars pressed to her living room window, just watching people to criticize. She has so much fucking time on her hands, and this is what she's done with it. She spent all her time obsessed with other people. That is the saddest shit. Like, can you imagine being such a prisoner in your own mind? Like, I haven't seen notes like that since I was fucking cramming for finals. And they're so neat too. Like, I believe she probably had another list and then she copied this one over. Her best handwriting. I mean, she had to dot every single one of those I's with a little heart. I mean, looking at myself right now in the camera, I'm sure she has at least 20 unchic things that I'm doing right now. And I've seen some videos of people like picking apart what's unchic about her. I'm gonna say again, the least cool thing, the least chic thing, whatever the fuck that means, that I'm gonna do today is what I'm doing right now. And I'm out of time. I gotta get back to it.
Because these babies don't bake themselves.
And I think that is just such the takeaway of there's nothing less chic than coming on the internet and judging people. And so I'm sure you're wondering, like, how did she take this response in her stride? Like, did she reflect on it? Did she mull over it? Like, what did she do? What did she think to come up with a response? Well, let's just simply watch her response video, shall we?
Get ready with me and let's gab about the comment section. Excuse me while I slurp. I honestly say that I did not expect the reaction that video from yesterday got, but I kind of think it's hilarious. Some of y'all are savage, and some of you are clearly so very bothered by innocuous things. Initially, I just wanted to make a post kind of the opposite of what's been trending, which is things that I find inherently chic. I just kind of thought it's already been played out and there wasn't much I could add to it, so I wanted to take my own spin on the trend, thus the video things I find unchic. And I will be doing a part 2 because my list is so very long. What I think some of you failed to realize is that just because something is unchic doesn't mean that you can't still wear it, buy it. Like, honestly, what do I care? Live your life. I have so many things in my closet that I would never consider to be chic, but I love them and you'll never be able to convince me to get rid of them. Case in point, these Gucci slides that I literally wear every day of my life that I got off of that one website that we're not allowed to talk about on TikTok. I don't care that they're not chic. I love them and they're extremely comfortable. Some of my favorite comments were of course the ones of me clawing and clutching and slurping my wine. So just to clarify, this is a red wine glass, this is ginger ale, and I have very shaky hands. So I like to hold the glass like this and sip or slurp as it was noted as such. Typically, actually, I use a straw, but I ran out. Oh, those comments were honestly the funniest to me because if you know me, you know that I don't drink alcohol, and also accusing me to be drunk because that's just kind of like my personality. I'm very spastic and loud, but I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Also, the comments about me slurping, these sent me because if you see, like when I talk, I suffered a major injury to my face when I was a child, and so I can only move with full mobility this half of my face. I can't actually move this side of my face, which is why I have this massive dimple. Oh yeah, I mean, I do kind of slurp and, you know, I do clutch. I think all the cool girls are holding their glasses like this, to be honest. My husband, of course, was most offended by the dead deer comments. I will say that in some parts of the world, taxidermy is actually considered very chic. Like if you've ever seen The Crown or The Gentleman, Old English Money, they have a lot of taxidermy. So if you hunt or your husband hunts, you know just how expensive that taxidermy is. I'm not talking about the price of the deer head alone. I'm talking about the time, the energy, and the finances that go into hunting in general. We ran the numbers one time, and after you figure the cost of the land, the feed, the time that you have to go out there and bush hog and get it ready and put up deer stands and then actually hunt and kill and process the deer, you can't go to the grocery store, you can't go to the butcher, you can't just go and buy venison, you have to work for it. So for that reason alone, I think that it's very chic, but also it's just like the best, leanest, cleanest, high protein red meat that you can get. But of course, much like everything else on my list, it is entirely subjective. Oh my god, wait, I did have another comment that I thought was so funny. Somebody said that I have low income eyes, which I thought I knew what that meant, but then of course I was like, they wouldn't be referring to me. So let me Google it real quick. It is exactly what I thought it was, which is when you wear way too much eye makeup and like the creepy crawly crusty eyelashes. It would have been a sick burn, but it doesn't actually apply to me. So at least if you're gonna insult me, you know, just do a quick Google search and make sure that it applies. If you really want to hurt my feelings, tell me I look tired. That one always stings. Also, all the comments assuming I was poor white trash and a Republican. The comments saying that I am too poor to afford a Neverfull, which is why I'm so mad about it. The problem isn't whether or not I could afford it, it's just the fact that I don't find it to be chic. And the reason I don't find it to be chic is because it's so easily obtainable and it's knocked off so much that it's just like not special anymore. So that's why it's not chic. Not because it's Louis, who cares? Also, they're not even that expensive, and if I really wanted one, I could go to New York and get one off the street for like $30. Moral of the story is do whatever you want, wear whatever you want. Who the heck cares what anybody thinks? It's the simple fact that we're Americans alone makes us unchic.
I love how she's like, if you really wanted to hurt my feelings, why do we want to hurt each other's feelings? Why do we want to hurt people's feelings? I don't know. Again, like the judging of class and stuff, like clearly it is about being, to her, unchic equals cheap. And the fact that she's like, it's very easy to get a Neverfull, does she mean like a dupe or does she mean a real one? Getting a real one, that's not attainable for most people. That's kind of a bizarre thing to say. And I do think, unfortunately, a lot of people in the comments are talking about her looks and like how old she looks and all of this other stuff. But there are some other comments that are like, your vapidity is astounding. Lol, the fact that you think because hunting is effort and taxidermy is expensive, that makes it chic, hilarious. And then she replied saying, I actually said hunting was expensive and that there's a large community find it chic. I don't subscribe to the idea that cost equates to chicness, which is very interesting because she very quickly did go from saying unchic to cheap. So I don't know, maybe we're not reflecting on ourselves enough. And again, like when she was talking about like her face and like why she does certain things, wouldn't those things make you less judgmental of maybe why people hold a glass a certain way, do certain things, talk a certain way, walk a certain way, present themselves a certain way? Because you don't know them, you don't know their backstory, you don't know what they have or have not been through. But no, instead you're just going to say, well, people that hold a glass like this is chic because I do it and I have shaky hands. Where's the empathy? The mindset, the perspective on the world is so small. But anyway, the backlash wasn't enough, I guess, because she did make part 2. And my favorite thing about part 2, before we even get into it, and don't even worry, it's the last UNCHIC list video we're going to watch, but my favorite thing about it is that it has less than 100,000 views, which I know is not nothing, but compared to getting over 3 million views for her first video, I just really like that she's not getting the attention, she's not getting the support and the platform, and this isn't like a new crazy trend that she's doing. People are just like, oh, we're just ignoring this now. She's not getting the time of day because we already said this is unkind behavior, so ergo unchic. But anyway, let's see what was on that list of hers.
Things I find incredibly unchic, part 2. I'm just going to go ahead and rip off the band-aid with this first one because I'm sure it's going to cause some discourse in the comments, but something that I find to be incredibly unchic is the use of profanity. And I know some of you are going to say that cursing is just oh so fun, and I'm sure I'll probably get a slew of them in the comments because I'm saying this, but what I will say is that using profanity or cursing has never actually helped you to prove a point or sound more intelligent, so for that reason, I find it to be incredibly unchic. Second on today's list is something that I think a lot of you are going to agree with, which is long nails, loud nails, fake nails of any kind are incredibly unchic. Short, nude, polished nails would be the epitome of chic, but I am not that girl. Third thing on my list is really just something for the men, because if you're a woman wearing these, I don't really know what I can say to you. For the men, these seem to be a fashion choice, and that is Crocs, Hey Dudes, and Sperry's. And the only one that I might give you a pass on is Sperry's if you are in fact wearing them on a boat. But otherwise, I generally do not see the purpose of wearing these shoes as a fashion item, and I do not consider them to be chic. Especially the Hey Dudes. I'm so sorry to whoever invented those. I just think that they are hideous. Next up, and this is maybe also kind of geared towards the men, and that's gonna be sports jerseys in an unironic way. Kind of like camo, I don't really understand what context a sports jersey is ever going to be an appropriate fashion item outside of an actual game. Get it? We love LeBron. I get it, you know, we love the guy with the mustache that dates Livy Dunn. Listen, you're not a professional athlete, so you don't need to be wearing somebody else's jersey in public outside of an athletic arena. It doesn't make sense to me. Feel free to make it make sense to me in the comments, but I do not and will never find that to be chic. Also something that I don't okay, fourth, fifth, I don't know what number I'm, but something else that should not be worn in public outside of your own home is going to be pajamas. I know that this is kind of like a trend, and I participate in the trend. I like a pajama pant trouser. I do think that they serve a purpose, but I'm not talking about those kind of pajamas, okay? I'm talking about like actual pajamas. Like if they have a Disney character on them, if they have little cupids with hearts and flowers, if they're completely see-through and meant to only be seen by your significant other. I know some of us like to be comfortable. I get it. Buy a cute sweat set. Pajamas in public, not chic. Similar to pajamas in public, I'm not really somebody who understands the purpose of leggings in public, be it leather leggings, pattern leggings. I kind of think that any leggings outside of the context of a gym are not chic. Especially pattern leggings. I have yet to see somebody look good in a pair of patterned leggings. Also, Apple Watches or the big chunky Garmin watches, my husband has one. Oh, they are just not chic. The Aura Band too, I can't subscribe to that. Lastly, and I know again, so many people love these, and I get that they serve a purpose, but they are not chic, and that is going to be your giant water jug, Stanley, whatever brand you choose, toting that thing around. I don't understand why it is such a necessity, and it has like essentially become people's personalities, is these giant metal water jugs. No, not chic. Just keep adding to the list, so we'll probably just have to rapid fire part 3.
And I feel like this comment that says who requested a part 2 really sums up this whole video. The video has barely over 2,000 likes, which, as I said before, it has not even 100,000 views, so it's clearly not, like, the content's not resonating. This isn't a fun, new, silly TikTok trend that you should be doing on your page, and I can't see a part 3, so I'm really hoping, yeah, she only has 2 videos in the things I find unchic little series box on her page, but it's clear that she's trying to become like a stay-at-home mum content creator on TikTok, and like, I guess she for some reason thought that just being mean and negative would really resonate with the bestie girly pops, but alas, it really hasn't. It hasn't done what I think she hoped it would. And again, it is just really sad to see that she is a stay-at-home mum, and there was so much like judgment towards other mums and other people, and it does just make you kind of, I don't know, to me it's a bit sad, you know, that people are kind of sitting at home and these are the thunks they're thinking, the thoughts that they're thinking, the judgments they're making of other people. Like, I'm sure she'll say it's not like taking up that much headspace, but I don't know, I'm not really sure that this is like what you would want to build a platform on, but it just really missed the mark. And I think the saddest thing is that like she doesn't get why it missed the mark. She doesn't get that it's like the unkindness and the just judgment and the way like it's coming across. This isn't like a fun, silly back and forth. Like, we don't, like, let's not be making fun of each other. I don't agree with the people that just are attacking her. Like, she's making herself look unchic by coming online and being mean. I think, you know, she's done enough. We don't need to do anything else. But I do feel like the fact that this series was ultimately a flop for her growing her platform speaks enough volume. And if you were listening when she was explaining why she made the video in her little explanation video, it's because of a trend that is fun, uplifting, cute, silly, and that was the trend of things that I find chic. And that to me is the craziest part, is that these girlies, influencer, aspiring influencers, whoever, saw someone go viral for being uplifting and just sharing things that they're like, I see girls and I think, wow, they're cool, wow, they're chic, and they were like, I know that, but negative. So I did want to end on a positive and share the other side of the coin of this trend, which is just girlies and besties sharing things that they find chic and that is fun to them. And it's just like, oh, these are things that I notice about the other girls and I think it's cool, I think it's fun. So let's just watch that video so we can end on a positive and just really leave the unchic police in the past.
It's come to my attention that we are discussing things that we think are incredibly chic, and so even though nobody asked, I'm going to give you my long-ass list of things that I find chic. Starting off strong, we have evening wear. Matching pajama sets, nightgowns. I'm currently in this white gauze nightgown, and I feel like I'm in a period piece or Bridgerton, so chic. A nice hairbrush. I think brushing your hair with something that feels elegant automatically makes you feel like a princess. Having a perfume collection. Yes, I think that having a signature scent is lovely, but if you can build like a perfume collection, so much so that the oils in the bottles are like changing colors and oxidizing, is that the word? I think that's gorgeous. An organized nightstand drawer. I think if you have compartments for cough drops, lotions, lip balms, your Zoloft, like that to me is like as chic as it gets. Like, you have your shit together, you are a woman. When you wear like a sweater or a crew neck and you have a white t-shirt popping out the top or the bottom, reading a magazine as the plane is taking off, grabbing one at Hudson News, wherever you do your airport shopping, getting on the plane, opening up that bad boy, maybe you're chomping on some gum. I mean, you look like you're straight out of a rom-com. Pearl earrings, I feel like that pretty much speaks for itself. Having a favorite flower or just knowing your flowers, that makes you just seem so mature and like you really care about the smaller, delicate things in life. I think the chicest thing of all time is being a jack of all trades, being able to put furniture together, making floral arrangements, cooking, baking, like painting nails, like just having little things in your back pocket that you can whip out, not necessarily to impress someone, but so you can feel confident in like taking care of yourself and doing things for yourself. Very chic. And lastly, a trench coat. I mean, what's better than a trench? I purchased mine right before I went abroad and I wore it everywhere. It doesn't need to be wool. It doesn't need to be fancy. I got mine for like $60 and I wore the shit out of it. And when I put it on, I feel like I make 6 figures a year, even though I'm not touching that in the slightest. So those are things that I find incredibly chic. I feel like most of them are pretty common and universal, but my mother and father remind me daily that I am crazy. And I don't think it's high maintenance. I just like appreciate the good things in life, you know? Am I chic? Oh, God, no. If you saw me eat a rack of ribs, you would know I am not chic. But when I do things that are on this list, I feel like Princess Diana. And I like to go to bed looking like her. So I'm going to keep brushing my hair 100 strokes a night, people. It's good for hair growth. That's how we keep our hair looking healthy, because what is chicer than healthy hair? Thank you very much. Good night.
And I feel like her video was just meant to be really like lighthearted and silly and fun. And I feel like at least with her videos, it's not negative. It's not bringing other people down. We're not sitting here writing lists, judging other people. And I feel like that was the most important thing that came out of the UNCHIC debacle that happened on TikTok, is how we responded to it and how we said judging other girls and judging besties, people you don't know, mums at the school, whomst ever. That is the ultimate UNCHIC act. Again, chic queenie over here. Nothing quite screams chic like a tatted up, pierced up, sparkly goofy gooby. It's screaming chic. I think we all know that. But I think it is important, whilst I don't agree with the bullying or like the picking on people's looks or the low blows and attacking and stooping to people's level, I do think it's really important that we don't encourage or we don't give platforms to this type of content and to this behavior. Because imagine if you are someone that is taking in this UNCHIC content and it makes you feel really bad about yourself. You feel insecure about how you look, how you present yourself, and then you also see that person gaining a platform, having people support them, having people build them up. Like, I think that is why it's so important to call it out, to say this is not content that's appropriate, this is not content that's productive. I never found you funny, I never found you smart, I never found you entertaining, I just found you annoying. I think that's why it's ultimately important to not just let it slide and to kind of ignore it, is because the conversations that happen online, the way people talk about each other, that stuff matters. How people get platforms, that stuff matters. And I feel like when we see so many people that were like, how do they have a platform? We can't change the fact that somehow James Charles has millions of followers and subscribers. Anyway, but we can choose who we give attention to now. We can choose who we follow, who we like, who we listen to. And I feel like there's a lot of people on TikTok that are getting a lot of attention for the right reasons, for the fun reasons. There's that girl fostering that dog Tiki. I definitely want to do a video on that. There's a girly Shelby Ann who has an iconic makeup routine. Like, she's getting a lot of attention and traction. Like, I think if people see those types of people getting attention, followers, and like praise, that is so important and such a good use of social media. So I think that is why, even though bullying, being mean and being rude is not okay, calling out bad behavior is important to make sure these people don't just build a platform off of calling us UNCHIC for what? Chip nails and saying fuck?
I actually do cuss a little.
Do you?
Also, yeah.
What's your favorite curse word?
Probably fuck.
Are you trying to tell me right now Miranda Cosgrove is not chic? Don't even try me. But any slay, I would love to know what you guys think about this whole situation in the comments down below. So please let me know. But yes, thank you guys so much for watching. And if you stay to the end, you are a chic one. Don't forget to... Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you want to keep up with me between my uploads, I'm on TikTok and Instagram, and I'll link my vlog channel down below. And YouTube should be recommending another one of my videos on the screen right now. But don't you worry, guys, because my dogs know my outro, and I'm not funny there either. Bye.